dismissed. I felt judged. I felt absolute anger, and I wanted somebody to be accountable.
CBC Toronto isn't identifying her because she's the victim of sexual assault. For years, she'd been invited by the Ontario Police College to share her story with officers training to be sexual assault investigators. Her hope? To create positive change for other sexual assault survivors and educate police on how to best interact with victims. But she was appalled after her last two presentations because of feedback comments left by two officers who had just completed the 10-day course. One comment in a class evaluation form from last January said in part, "She is far too damaged to be presenting her story. I don't believe she has taken the initiative to want to improve herself." After her presentation in March, another officer wrote, "She showed courage to speak, but I think she should see a psychologist for her obvious PTSD."
It's like those officers missed the whole point of the talk. They missed the point of being trauma-informed. They missed the point of seeing the sexual assault survivor, victim for who they are, not who they think they should be. They missed the part of not making judgments, of not carrying their bias into the situation.
She complained to the police college in August about the comments, writing, "At minimum, I expect an apology and for these officers to be removed from their role as sexual assault investigators." The director said he'd look into it, but 5 months later, still no response. There are a lot of questions, like, did these officers pass the course? Because that's mandatory to become a sexual assault investigator in Ontario. And are they sexual assault investigators? And if so, in which communities? We reached out to the Ontario Police College and the Ministry of the Attorney General, which oversees the college. Our interview request was declined, and the ministry didn't answer our specific questions, only saying, "The ministry and the Ontario Police College recognize the profound courage it takes for survivors of sexual violence to share their stories and the importance of creating a space that is safe to do so. The OPC is following up directly with the survivor to address the situation."
That's not accountability. At the end of the day, accountability requires transparency.
Danielle McNabb is an assistant professor who specializes in police oversight.
Certainly, providing information at minimum is necessary for police accountability and for maintaining public trust.
It's really disheartening.
Sunny Mariner is a prominent advocate and expert on sexual assault survivors' experiences with the Canadian justice system. She says if those officers are working on sexual assault cases, that's a problem.
A lot of the stereotypes that we saw in the comments, those are sometimes root causes of why investigations go sideways. If you are hearing that through a filter where what the survivor is saying is becoming less credible to you because you don't have that understanding of the impacts of sexual assault, that's automatically going to lead to discounting reports of sexual violence. We see this again and again, so it's extremely detrimental.
The survivor says she wants the college to review how it handles situations like this.
Have they learned from their mistake? That's the question. And how are they preventing this from happening in the future?
Even if those questions are answered once the college reaches out to her, she says the damage is done. She no longer feels comfortable sharing her story with the college, a learning opportunity provided by her to police in Ontario, now lost. Angelina King, CBC News, Toronto.